everyone, this is Leslie with the Plaid Poodle, and today's card I'm using a new framelit set that just came out in the new 2017-2018 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. I'm using some old favorites, but I really love this framelit, so let's get started. To make the card, your card base is a piece of 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Right down the middle, and that makes our card base. And I like for my card bases to use the thick Whisper white cardstock. It's just heavier and I like it for the card bases. Now for the stamping, I'm using just Whisper white cardstock. It's not as heavy and it's going to be layered on top of the card base, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And for the stamping, I'm going to use my Stampin' Up! Jig, because I want to be very careful about my placement of these paint strokes. And that image comes from a stamp set that was brand new last year, Painter's Palette, and it is carrying over. And I just loved the paint strokes on that with the Night of Navy, the Tangerine Tango, and the Crumb Cake combination. So that's the inks we're going to use. We're going to use Crumb Cake, Tangerine Tango, and Night of Navy. And I'm using 3 different images, paint strokes from the stamp set. And I'm going to start with the center stroke, just so I can make sure that it, that way I can place the others in relationship to it. So to use your Stampin' Up! Jig, if you've never used it, you put the little piece of plastic vinyl, whatever this is, you take your stamp on its block and you line the block up with the Stampin' Up! Jig right in the corner. So there's my first image. These are going to wipe off. And then my Tangerine Tango image, I'm just going to turn the corner and put it there. And my Crumb Cake, turn the corner and put it there. So I'm all ready to roll. Now sometimes I will take a piece of washi tape just to secure my paper so it doesn't slip. That's not necessary, but since I'm kind of, when I film, I'm not directly over my project, so I'm kind of perpendicular to it, so it just helps me a little bit. If I was right over it, I probably wouldn't need to be this cautious, but it doesn't hurt. Okay, so I'm going to place that blue swish, or whatever you want to call it, kind of right in the center of the card, a little upper from the center. Ink my stamp up with Night of Navy. And we're going to need the Night of Navy in a little bit, so I'm going to leave that open. The next, I'm going to kind of let that dry a minute, because I don't want it to smear when I lay the Stampin' Up! Jig sheet over it. Then see how easily I can place that so I know exactly where that stamp is going to go. If these were photopolymer stamps, it would be a little simpler because you can see through, but these are the nice red rubber stamps, which I love, and they're not as easily eyeballed. And if you've watched any of my videos, I'm not good at eyeballing things. And like I said, while I'm filming, I'm kind of stamping a little sideways so my head doesn't get in the camera. Okay, and the last little swish we're going to do from the Work of Painter's Palette stamp set is in crumb cake, and it's the small one. Okay. And that is all we need to do on the card base for the stamping. Now, the little hello is from another one of my favorite stamp sets that I use quite a bit because there are just so many words on it, and I like the font, and it does coordinate with the I think it's called the Banner Punch, but I'll look that up and I'll post it on my video. So I'm taking this little tiny piece of crumb cake cardstock, excuse me, and the hello stamp, and it is photopolymer, so I don't need to use the Stampin' Up jig on this. I'm just going to set it right in the center there. And there we go. So our stamping is done. I can put the inks away. And now for the new product that I'm using, it is a framelit set that it's called Lovely Words. Cut it out of a 3 by 3 inch piece of Night of Navy cardstock, and I'm going to cut the friend out of the circle. I could frame that out, but I just want the I cut that out with my Big Shot. I just want the friend, so I'm going to set that right there. And I have already cut some Stampin' Dimensionals because I wanted it a little bit higher. I just cut little thin strips of Stampin' Dimensional and put them on the longer pieces of the die cut, so it's ready to go. But before I do that, I have a little what do they call these? I've been told it's called a tussle of the copper metallic thread. So to do that, I'm just going to take and wrap a few, oh, I don't know, it just depends on how big you want it, of the metallic thread. And then I'm going to take, whoops, no worries. In fact, while it's all unraveled, let's put a glue dot. I want the glue dot to go kind of under where I'm going to prop this hello tag on. So I'm going to kind of put my die cut on here, and I think I want it right about there, because I want my colors to show. So I'm probably going to put the hello right about here. So I'm putting a little glue dot right there, and then I'm going to wrap this metallic thread, and this is the copper. I thought the copper would be pretty with the Night of Navy and the Tangerine Tango. It's kind of a warmer color. And there's no science to this, it's just kind of a mess. As long as you just kind of get it, and see how I stuck it on that little glue dot. And when I put my die cut down, it's also going to secure it a little bit more. Got a little tangle right here, it got twisted, so I'm going to do that. I mean, you could play with it, but I think that looks good. So now I'm going to take the little backing papers off my Stampin' Dimensionals, and like I said, I just used my scissors and cut a skinny little strip and then cut little pieces from that strip. because I wanted this to kind of be raised. I'm going to put it right there. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then the hello, we also want to put a Stampin' Dimensional on that. And again, I'm just going to cut a little piece off the edge. I'm down to the bones of that sheet. But I use every inch of that, and it's good to use it up. Then I'm going to put my hello right there over that glue dot so it doesn't show. And now, oh shoot, I got a little ink there. Oh well, somebody's going to get a little, I wonder if it's on my hands. It is on my hands. Okay, now I'm going to put 3 of these enamel shapes, and these are in the brights. And I'm using 2 of the Tangerine Tango and 1 of the Daffodil Delight, just to kind of give it a little something something extra. And now all we have to do, and then I've raised this up as well off the front of the card. So some more Stampin' Dimensionals. I'll just use up all these bones. I think that will be good. Okay. I definitely have ink on my hands, which is not good when you're working with Whisper White. I need to... I probably got it off that Stampin' sheet. Okay, and then we're just going to place that on the center of the card. And there you go. I think that's a sweet little card. It's kind of simple and easy, and it's just kind of a fun little card. So you all check out the new catalog. There's a link to the PDF on my blog, www.theplaidpoodle.com. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I send catalogs out to my customers when they spend $50 with me for free, or if you'd like to pay the shipping, I would be happy to send you a catalog, and there is a form on my blog that allows you to pay for the shipping. So go check that out, and you all have a wonderful day and happy stamping. Thank you. Bye-bye.